It's Jeff Pulver, and welcome to Jeff's Place. I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful to all the artists that will be joining us today, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful show. Give a shout out to Don, who's certainly dressed for some fun, and like to welcome everybody who's joining us literally from around the world. Jeff's Place is a has become my favorite day of the week. My favorite place to be, a place where we can actually bring the world together and just enjoy music and just it's growing in a wonderful way. So I thank the audience for being here. I thank the artists for being here, and it's become a place which I just truly look forward to being part of. And I give a shout out in advance to Lauren and Harry, who are the producers, for all the work that they do in helping to make the show happen every week. We continue to have three very special sponsors each week. They don't get a lot of credit, but I have to give out a shout out to our sponsor, the Color Purple. The numbers 1 and 8, which together bring life, and the letters LOV and E, always outbidding WTNF. So those are the sponsors: Color Purple, 18, and LOVE. And I thank you for being our sponsors. And with that, heading over to Of Sea and Stone and say good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hi, we're doing
We're doing
well.
perfect.
Yeah, it's
So
beautiful
which one
here.
of you is Sea and who's Stone?
So I'm the C,
Yes, and I'm the stone.
and you'll see it when we perform a little bit too. I'm always moving. And I'm
Where are
also
you?
very emotional. He's very
Where are you?
stoic.
Where are you guys based out of?
St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis. Wow, I've not been to St. Louis in a while. How are you all doing? How's the music scene there?
It's good. It slowed down over the last year for some reason, but
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's a cool scene. There's lots of talent here. A lot of rock, a lot of folk rock and stuff. And we're looking forward to diving more into it because really we moved into St. Louis right around the time that the pandemic started, so we haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to explore, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And who are your musical influences?
There's a lot, kind of a big range, but generally stuff that's very lyrically driven, and you'll kind of notice in our songs too, we're really driven by the lyrics and the harmonies. The Civil Wars, the Avett Brothers, Jason Isbell, a lot in that folk Americana scene.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, cool. So are you playing the covers, originals, or what is your set going to look like today?
We're doing originals today. Maybe we'll throw in one cover, but we're gonna do some of our songs a few that are not even released, so you'll hear some new stuff. But yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Well, wonderful. Well, the stage is yours, and please thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of our community.
Thank you so much for
Thanks.
having us.
Appreciate it. This first song is called "Oh My My." I'd love to tell you the story behind it, but there isn't a gigantic story behind it other than it's just a fun song, and wrote it on one sunny afternoon, and it's kind of sultry and fits our style well. Oh my, was he happily alright? Nothing I could say or do wrong.
Oh my, with your sly little smile, knew you wouldn't be around for long. So here we are,
Dancing in the fire, looking for a red-headed door. Trying to walk upon this wire, it's a long way down to the floor. Looking over my shoulder, tell me what is it like? Can you see the light? Oh my. Oh, I have to ask the question, but the answer doesn't have to be straight. I've seen you leave early too many times to mention, and I know that you've been staying out late. So here we are, dancing in the fire, looking for a red-headed door. Trying to walk once upon this wire leads a long way down to the floor. Looking over my shoulder, tell me what's it like? Can you see the light? Oh my, my. Tell you it was nothing, 'cause something in my voice gave me away. Don't say I didn't try to warn you, my smile might be leading you astray. So here we are, dancing in the fire, looking for a red-handed door. Yeah, to us upon this wire, it's a long way down to the floor. Looking over my shoulder, tell me what's it like? Can you see the light? Oh
Wow, keep it up. Wow, that was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Beautiful sound.
So this next song is called "If These Walls Could Talk." It's a little bit more of a somber song, but it's when we were working on our house here. We completely gutted it when we bought it, and it was built in 1925. So we were tearing all these walls out, and we just started thinking about all this different stuff that the walls had seen. And then, you find notes in walls and drawers and underneath the stuff, and you're like, man, this house has seen a lot. So we started writing a song about it called "If These Walls Could Talk," and that's this.
Wonderful.
If these walls could talk, they wouldn't say a word. They wouldn't want to repeat the things they'd heard. The good days and the bad, they've seen it all. They've seen it all, but if these walls could talk, they'd tell you about a girl one time so in love and loved by the world. They'd remind you that love is seldom fair, like everybody kept reminding her. Whisper to me, please don't shout. Hear the ghosts running through this house. You can feel the flames when we burned it all down, like the pale moonlight burning on us now, like the pale moonlight burning on us now. If these walls could talk, whose side would they take? Would they see a man who's more than his mistakes? Would they see a girl who's been the one to fix everything she breaks? We were both afraid. Whisper to me, please don't shout. You can hear the ghosts running through this house. You can feel the flames when we burned it all down. Like the pale moonlight burning on us now. Like the pale moonlight burning on us now. And I don't know what I thought I'd hear. These hallways we left unpainted all those years. I wish it closed the door, eased our fears. I don't know what I thought I'd hear.
If these walls could talk,
I hope I'd listen.
the young man who grew old and found some peace.
To the girl now, a woman filled with wisdom. We should let him be. Whisper to me, please don't shout. You can hear the ghosts running through this house. You can feel the flames when we burned it all down. Like the pale moonlight burning on us now. Like the pale moonlight burning on us now. Like the pale moonlight burning on us.
Wow, that was amazing. Your harmonies are beautiful. The words are beautiful. The music, the tone. Wow. And so
Thank
do you
you.
ever get anyone thinking you sound a little bit like Fleetwood Mac-ish? Like you have like a,
Actually, I've gotten that. I've gotten that a little bit for me specifically, and I think also the hat and the
Yeah,
hair
the
kind
hat,
of
the
does a
whole-
little
yeah.
bit for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the two of us, we love Fleetwood Macs too.
well, the
so, like,
last live
that's-
concert I went to before pandemic times
wow.
was Fleetwood
Wow.
Mac in Toronto in November 2019. Oh my goodness, wow.
that's a very, very big compliment. Thank you.
But it was just you
Ready
guys
to see
just
some
really
concerts.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I know.
your sound is wonderful. It's just beautiful live, and you're getting a lot of love in the chat. You'll see after when you're done. You'll see the
Well-
people are just
well, thank
really
you.
appreciating your.
Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it. And
So
thank you so much for having us too.
Oh,
so
we're-
this is so
We'll,
fun.
we'll already invite you to come back. I mean,
Oh,
it's just
perfect.
beautiful music.
Yay! I love that.
let's throw a cover in.
You want to throw a cover in? Oh, yeah, this will be fun. So a little bit about Luke and I. We actually met on Tinder, the dating app, and we swiped right, started a band, and then I finally convinced him to marry me, and he
Yay.
proposed on stage at one of our shows, and we'll be married 5 years, May 21st, which seems like it went by so fast, so we're really lucky.
Wow.
This cover will be fun for everyone.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Don't you mind, what do you mean? I
am the one who would dance on the floor in the round.
She told me her name was Billie Jean. She called the scene. Every head turned with eyes of dream to be.
And the one who would dance on the floor in the round.
People always told me, be careful what you do.
Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts.
Mama always told me, be
Careful who you love, be careful what you do. The lie becomes the truth.
Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son.
had schemes and plans, oh no, though we danced on the floor in the round.
So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think
twice. Do think twice.
She told my baby we'd dance to 3, and she looked at me. Strode a forward on my baby cried, 'cause his eyes were like
mine all night, though we danced on the floor in the round.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. She came and stood right by me with the smell of sweet perfume.
This happened much too soon.
She called me to her room. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I'm the one. But the kid is not my son. So Billie Jean is not my lover.
She's just a girl.
Billie Jean is not my lover.
She's just a girl.
Billie Jean is not my lover.
Wow, Billie Jean live here at Jeff's Place. Oh my goodness! Turn on those cameras of yours. Show some love. Show some applause. That was, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
That one's fun to do because we do it definitely different,
Yeah.
Different than he did it.
But
which
it's
makes
so-
it fun.
Yeah, I can't
so
move
fun.
like that though. And you don't want to see me try.
Yeah, we can't do his dance moves, so we had to just do something different.
It's all good, but the you guys just,
Okay, so we're gonna do one more for y'all, and this is our top song. It is a very sad song, I will preface. It's called "I Love You Goodbye," and we have a music video out on YouTube too, if anyone's interested. It was released back in 2019, and this has been the song that's really resonated with our fans the most. So it's a little song about heartbreak.
Will have the truth ever be enough for you?
Will half my life ever be enough to get you through?
Poison on your lips pulls me closer.
While your eyes push me away. Two ships sailing in the same direction, but the winds have somehow changed. I don't know what to say. I love you. I don't know what to say. Goodbye. I don't know what to say. I love you and goodbye. At the same time.
Give it on up. Come on, share some love and applause.
Thank you.
Thank
Of Sea and Stone. That was beautiful. Your harmonies are great, and your sound is just absolutely fantastic. My goodness, wow.
Well,
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you having us once again.
Thank you for being
we're
here.
so happy
really.
to be here.
Thanks for hanging out. You are invited to come back, and it's just wonderful to have you part and to just open the show with you is like a blessing. So thank you so much. And
Well, thank you.
certainly, it's like it's nice to know that Tinder works and it helps create some beautiful magic. The producer's asking, can you do one more song? Do you have
One more? Yeah, we
Yeah.
have one more we can do.
Yeah, what do you want to do? That way we end on a happy note and not like a very sad note.
Sort of, because even our upbeat songs are
They're,
usually a little bit sad.
we usually, I think so. We're like really happy people, and this outlet for writing is this like sad and dark outlet that we
Sure.
get to explore, and that's something I love about it too. Is like we're a very strong couple, but from everything we see around us, our friends and our family, we can write some really sad stuff and kind of relate in that way.
Heart is pounding in my head. My feet can't outrun my regret. I was daydreaming again. I think I know just what you meant. In the night when my body lays with my body, lays with my body, lays me down. Thousand things that I want to say, that I want to say, that I just have to get out. I see your ghost still hanging around. She still wears a crown. She still wears a crown. Woo! I saw you running with a paintbrush in your hand. Said she goes wild and you ought to leave her there. Like a fool, I broke the stand. Now I know just what you meant. In the night when my body lays in my body aches, I can hear you singing out. Thousand things that I want to say that I did not say, that I wish I had said now. See your ghost still hanging around. She still wears a crown. She still wears a crown. Please, I wanna hear you sing. Please, it might mean everything. It might mean everything. In the night when my body lays, when my body aches, I can hear you singing out. Thousand things that I want to say, that I did not say, that I wish I had said now. I see your ghost still hanging around. She still wears a crown. She still wears a crown.
Wow.
Thank
Absolutely
you so
beautiful.
much.
You guys, pure magic. Thank you so, so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
that's one of the singles that'll be coming. We're in this 8-part series just for anybody who wants to follow online. We released the first song, the second song's coming, and it's this 8-part story. So every song will tell another piece. So if y'all like it, check it out.
We love it. Forget about liking it. It's a love. So thank you so, so much. That was beautiful.
Thank
Well, thank you.
you.
Wow, so much. Wow, that's so great to have of Sea and Stone here live at Jeff's place. And wow, all right. So we're gonna go from Missouri, and now we're heading over to the West Coast, over to Washington State, and checking in with Douglas DeJoe. Douglas, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Those guys were fantastic.
Yeah. So could you share a little bit about yourself and your influences along the way?
Yeah. I've been writing for probably twice as long as those two kids have been alive. And I'm like the opposite. They're young and their voices are beautiful, and I'm an old guy with a gravelly voice. But John Pride was probably my biggest influence. But Guy Clark, Townes Van Zandt, Chris Christopherson. I loved Chris. And in high school days, I was a big Harry Chapin fan. So,
Oh wow.
yeah. So it's kind of cool that you're getting his family together for that celebration. That's great.
I'm looking forward to that. It's July 15th. So and today, what are you going to be sharing? Some original music, or what do you?
Yeah, they're all originals. I've got the last one I'm going to do is brand new that I wrote with a buddy back in my hometown, and the rest of them are just songs I like that I've written along the way.
Wonderful. Hey, the stage is yours. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Jeff. Mentioning this getting older stuff, it kind of freaks you out, and you get to that point in your life where you're like, wow, what am I going to do about this? And there's really nothing you can do about it. So I said, well, I think you could hang out in bars because it's dark, and that you can't see the wrinkles, and the gray hair is kind of deflected off of the neon light. So that was the idea for this song, and it's called Barroom Light. Well, if you give the man a 10 and it's supposed to be a 20, all you need's a little barroom light. If you're feeling like a road hard put up wet junkie, all you need's a little barroom light. Barroom light, barroom light. Makes it look like everything's alright. If can hold up the dark end of the night, all you need's a little barroom light. Well, if your eyes got circles and a few crow's feet, all you need's a little barroom light. You're tired of beating back gravity, all you need's a little barroom light. Hey, barroom light, barroom light. Makes it look like everything's alright. If you can't hold up the dark end of the night, all you need's a little barroom light. All the beautiful people, they got Palm Beach and Malibu. Well, I guess that leaves the barroom for me and you. What else can we do? Ooh. Well, if your heart's on fire but your body's quit cooking, all you need's a little barroom light. If your teeth have yellowed and your toothpaste crooked, all you need's a little barroom light. Barroom light, barroom light. makes it look like everything's alright. If you can't hold up the dark end of the night, all you need's a little barroom light. You can't hold up the dark end of the night, all you need's a little barroom light.
Yes, I think we all know that barroom light.
Unfortunately.
Yes, I get it. Wow.
So this next song, I moved to Nashville in 1991 with my wife and my little baby boys, and they were still doing the execution, for death row prisoners at that time, and there was a young man. I heard the chaplain tell the story on the local NPR radio about this young man who was going to they were going to execute him, and his estranged mother showed up on the night he was to be executed. So kind of an uplifting thing for all you folks out there. It's called Where I'm Going. Well, I could tell your heart is tore up, but I can't thank you enough for finding the strength to show up here tonight. Yeah, they fed me a real fine dinner, made me forget for a minute that all I am's a sinner out of time. I'm the reason for your lifetime of tears, and I ain't worth even one. And I hate like hell to ask you this, Mama, but when this night is done, could you bury me underneath the big pine tree at the bottom of our hill, where everything is still like it was when I was a kid, peaceful and innocent, till I done the things I did and chose the wicked life I've lived. And when I'm dead and gone, don't bother with a stone, 'cause I don't want even a trace of me left showing. Just bury me face down so I can see where I'm going. I poured my heart out to the chaplain, done my best to let the Lord in. Hope my cold heart hasn't scared him away. They say it only takes 10 minutes once they fill your veins up with it, till the burning quits and it all fades away. And I know you know I'm scared right to death, 'cause you're the only one I never could fool. There's just one last thing I need, Mama. When this night is through, could you bury me underneath the big pine tree at the bottom of our hill, where everything is still like it was when I was a kid, peaceful and innocent, till I done the things I did and chose the wicked life I've lived. And when I'm dead and gone, don't bother with a stone, 'cause I don't want even a trace of me left showing. Just bury me face down so I can see where I'm going. Bury me face down so I can see where I'm going.
Wow. And what a storyteller you are. Wow, oh my goodness.
Thank you.
That songwriting.
Appreciate that, Jeff.
Huh. I was getting caught in just listening to your messages, and the people here are leaving love and really appreciating your craft.
Great. That's fantastic. I can get somebody else besides my wife to like me.
Yes, you have certainly new fans from around the world. They're appreciating you at this very moment.
Thank you. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. Well, this song is about a time my wife didn't like me very much. And it's like, you know, that boring humdrum life that you live suddenly becomes really beautiful when the one you love splits. So this was a song I wrote about that, called Simple and Beautiful Life. No, we can't ever say our life has been easy. Work night and day to keep the ends meeting. We accepted the challenge and perfected the routine, and it felt like an old pair of jeans. And I'm sure gonna miss you with me. Now you got your plans, and if I weren't so empty, my heart would be filled up with anger and envy. Stuck in a row that just doesn't fit me, like two shoes too tight on my feet. And I'm sure gonna miss you with me. No, I ain't gonna miss bill collectors come calling. Ain't gonna miss that old minivan stalling. Don't care if the wind gets the antenna falling, 'cause I won't have to fix it this time. But I'm sure gonna miss that old humdrum and typical, boring, predictable, simple and beautiful life. I make a few small repairs, put the house on the market, find a farm for the dogs where they won't mind their barking. Take my 65 T-Bird to my brothers and park it. Watch him smile as I toss him keys. And I'm sure gonna miss you and me. No, I ain't gonna miss bill collectors come calling. And I ain't gonna miss that old minivan stalling. Don't care if the wind gets the antenna falling. I won't have to fix it this time. But I'm sure gonna miss that old humdrum and typical, boring, predictable, simple and beautiful life. Simple and beautiful life.
Wow. Yeah, your storytelling is just absolutely fantastic. It's like and their comments are here. It's like it's what writing original music is all about. Absolutely, it's
Thanks, man.
is real and it's powerful. And I'm just sitting here listening, watching everyone else's reaction at the same time, processing your absolute wonderful messages. My goodness,
I really appreciate it more than I could say.
Well, when you have a chance, look at the comments here because you got love from all over the place.
How do you even do that? Like I told Lauren, I'm lucky to.
Well, we'll email you the comments. How's that? We will save the chat and we'll send you the comments so you can see that you are appreciated from all over the world. So, guys, if you're listening to my voice while you're listening to Douglas, drop in where you're from so he'll know that it's just not folks from Washington listening.
And Doug, if you're on your computer, if you roll to the bottom.
Roll. I'm in trouble right there.
What do you see when you look at the screen? Do you see all the little boxes?
Up top, and then I see you on the big screen.
Okay, so there's up on the right side.
Oh, reactions.
Yes.
Is that
I'm sorry, Lauren. It just, hit me like a ton of bricks. I see it there.
It says chats and all that stuff. Yep, it's coming up. And if you want to see everyone who's in the crowd, there's a button on the upper right side that says view.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Click that. There's something that says gallery view. And if you change it to gallery view, you will see your audience.
Okay.
Of course, it'd be nice if people turn their cameras on. But that's a different
topic. Can. The ones who can have it on.
Yeah.
And is Karen someone special to you? Because she just came in.
That's my sister.
Well, she's here, so,
And my mom, my 87-year-old mom should be with her. So that's cool. That's great.
That's very cool. Hopefully they'll open up their cameras and we'll see them.
All right.
All right. Well, this is wonderful.
Wow. Well, let me do this last tune here. Speaking of my sister and my mom, this was a song that I wrote about my hometown in upstate New York, Western New York, outside of Buffalo to be exact. And our neighborhood was just a bunch of Italian people, and more precisely Sicilian Italians. And so all of us kids were kind of coming up at the same time. And at the end of our street was St. Antonio of Padua's Roman Catholic Church, and the school was there. And they had this big asphalt parking lot that was used on Tuesday nights for bingo, of course. And then for Sunday, parking for mass. Well, we used to play ball there as little guys. And my dad, who worked for the highway department, had this brilliant idea of borrowing the highway paint, what they used to paint the roads. And one night, he and all of us kids painted the blacktop with foul lines and bases and batters boxes and home plate. And it was really cool. And we played there, until we became adolescents and interested in other things. But a few weeks ago, last month, one of my buddies from back home, Pete Kalani, and I wrote this song called Baseball in the Dark, because we would play from morning till night. And I'd like to do it for you.
Wow.
We made the sign of the cross as we rode by the church on a makeshift Stingray bike. Our baseball gloves hanging from our handlebars, just neighborhood kids with stars in our eyes. Pedro and Lefty, the Shibata Boys, Rick and Mash, and Bobby Valvo. Albert and Richie and the Novetzky brothers, Ziff and Billy, Militello. And we played baseball all day. Nothing got in our way. Pitcher's mound was first base. Ghost man and ride every game. Each kid knew his father's whistle, calling him home for supper time. Yeah, we'd hurry up and eat. Our moms would bristle as we headed out the door, back to the guys. And the sun would set, and that one street lamp would light up our world. In a blacktop park, yeah, we played baseball all day and baseball in the dark. The church was just beyond our left field fence, and the priest's house was right in between. Nobody minded us playing there till Pedro hit a home run and broke a window at the rectory. Well, Father Guido just shrugged, but Father Carlos was pissed, shook his fist at us kids, and he yelled. Yeah, we were all scared half to death till one of the older boys said, hey, we're just playing ball here, Padre, and you can go to hell. And we played baseball all day. Nothing got in our way. Pitcher's mound was first base. Ghost man and ride every day. Each kid knew his father's whistle, calling him home for supper time. Yeah, we'd hurry up and eat, and our moms would bristle as we head out the door, back to the guys. And the sun would set, and that one street lamp would light up our world. In a blacktop park, yeah, we played baseball all day and baseball in the dark. Well, adolescence hit, we went our separate ways. We found cigarettes, beer, girls, and pot. Now as the sun starts to set on the lives we've led, not a single one of us has ever forgot how we played baseball all day. Nothing got in our way. Pitcher's mound was first base. Ghost man and ride every game. Each kid knew his father's whistle, calling him home for supper time. Yeah, we'd hurry up and eat, and our moms would bristle. We headed out the door, back to the guys. And the sun would set, and that one street lamp would light up our world. In a blacktop park, yeah, we played baseball all day and baseball in the dark.
Wow. Wow. I give it up. Come on. Turn on those cameras if you can. Show some love and applause. My goodness.
Thank
what
you.
a beautiful song. And absolutely beautiful memories. Magnificent storytelling. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you, Lord.
Wow.
Doug, one of your friends is here, and I don't know if you saw Mrs. DeJoe, but Mrs. DeJoe, there's a sign of love to you. So hold
No, I
on.
didn't.
So here, could you hold your
Here,
sign
hold
up,
on.
Pete? Pete, hold up that sign. There you go.
Wait,
hold
I
it
gotta
up.
put on the view here. Hang on a second.
Yes, put on the view. Just click on that view and go to where it says gallery view. And tell Pete to hold up the sign, and you'll see him, and you can see your mom if you
Hi, Mrs.
flow
DeJoe.
through.
Hi, Mrs. DeJoe. I see you there. Cool. Hey, Pedro. That's my boy. That's my co-writer right there.
Oh, that's him.
Beautiful song.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
me.
there's the co-writer, right?
All right.
That's fantastic. Show Pete there. He's my co-writer, man.
All right.
Wow. So
Yeah, we
cool.
raised hell when we were little guys.
I could only imagine. My goodness. Wow.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for sharing with us. We're blessed.
Praise.
That was
Thank you
beautiful.
so
Lots
much.
of good memories. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Peace out.
Wow. Peace. Hey, thank
See
you.
you
Thank
soon.
guys.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right. So that was an absolutely beautiful way, baseball in the dark, and that brings so many memories. Many of us growing up. My goodness. I want to take a second. I think Brittany's still here. Brittany's here. I want to give a shout out to a friend in Ireland, to my friend Brittany, because he doesn't know this, but you helped make some magic happen, Brittany. You don't know this. So you remember how you introduced me to Charlie? Oh, your mic's not on. Put on your mic there.
Yes, yes, I do.
So next week we're having our second ever songwriters in the round. We're going to have 4 songwriters, 4 guitars, share stories 4 times around.
Okay.
So Charlie introduced me to Colin Gavin, and
Okay.
and so next week we're going to have a special version of the show. We're going to have Charlie and Gavin and Terrence, who's in the audience here, and Simon Kirk. Simon is, you may know Simon. He co-created that band, Bad Company.
Okay.
So we're
I'm
gonna have
not familiar, but I do know Charlie quite well, and he's amazing.
Well, I've been listening to Charlie's music, and particularly the older versions of Rock and Roll Kids. My goodness, that he sang, did not write, but sang, and so I want to thank you, because next week's show would not have happened without you.
My pleasure. Thank you for all the enjoyment you've brought all of us over the last months and almost a year now, probably through lockdown. So I've really enjoyed it. I haven't been around as much as I would like to have been lately. Been really, really busy doing work for people like Charlie and for Charlie. But delighted to be here today. And
Well, I'm just want to acknowledge and say thank you, because when I put together when I was working on the promotion for the show, I realized you were the person that helped make it happen without realizing it, because it's for me, it's all about that serendipity and the synchronicity when moments get together and magic just happens, and you happen to be part of that magical pixie dust. So thank you.
Thank you.
So thanks. So all right. So I'm Jeff Pulver, and you're watching, and you're part of Jeff's Place, and I'm really grateful to all of you. Just to put a little shout out, next week, same time, we're going to have a very special show. It's going to be songwriters in the round. We have 4 songwriters, all sharing the making of their songs, whether they're completed songs in progress, or just really the storytelling part and the music creation part. That's all going to be part of the experience next weekend. It's going to be Charlie McGinnigan, and it's Colin Gavin. It's Terrence. Terrence is here. I'd say Terrence Blacker, and Simon Kirk, and each of them from different genres of music, but all of them together who make music together. So that's next week, and so I'm really looking forward to that show. All right, so we're going to go from the West Coast to the East Coast, to Brooklyn, maybe, to New York City, saying good afternoon to Kate, who has a live show, believe it or not, a live show coming up where people, I guess, will gather. How does that work again?
Can you believe I get to sing in front of human bodies in a week?
Wow.
Unbelievable. A concept that's never been heard of before, and I'm so excited to be the first person to do it ever.
Well, it's going to be like starting all over again.
Yeah.
My goodness. So could you do a more proper introduction of yourself, please?
Absolutely. My name is Kate Yeager. I'm a singer-songwriter from Brooklyn, New York. I drive a 2010 Toyota Camry. love sweet potatoes, big fan of Rice Krispies treats, and it's a rainy day. So I'm still in like sweatpants and leggings, but up on the top half, I'm very business professional in a denim jacket.
All good. So this is rainy day music?
I don't even know if it's rainy day music, but it's just music that is good for the ears. I think it's what the doctor ordered. I think is what, at least that's what my doctor told me. He said you're gonna play these people some music, and I said
absolutely. And just so we know, so who are some of your influences?
some of my influences include Bruce Springsteen, who I fondly refer to as my dad, even though he's not. I'm like, my dad, Bruce Springsteen. I guess it's I'm really inspired by like a lot of people that are my peers and that are around me. But yeah, I really have been diving back into Bruce's catalog, especially through the pandemic. A lot of Fleetwood Mac. Graceland has been playing on my on vinyl in my house. A lot of Ben Rector, who's not that old and truly just is a an early 2000s late 2000s musician, but still like I think Ben captures nostalgia in like such a perfect way. And I just love Carole King with my whole heart. I think I would love to be adopted by Carole King. That would be the best thing in the whole world.
Absolutely. Well, hey, the stage is yours. Thank you for coming back, and looking forward to your show today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked. Let's get started. So this song is called Glad I Came, and it's because I am glad you all came. I don't know you, but I love you in a wonderful way, and you won't become a stranger if I didn't ask your name. Oh, I'm not sure how I got here, but I'm glad I came. I'm gonna cook a great big dinner and invite the whole damn world, and we can laugh and drink and joke about all our precious pearls. Oh, I'm not sure how I got here, but I'm glad I came. And when it rains, it pours on us. When it's cold, we cozy up. When I love too much that you can trust. And I know it all seems crazy, but ain't this life amazing? We keep on keeping on all the same. And I'm not sure how I got here, but I'm glad I came. I'm gonna find the nearest dance floor, show off my fancy feet, and I know that I'm no good, but you can't keep up with me. Oh, I'm not sure how I got here, but I'm glad I came. I'm gonna scream out every lyric. I'm gonna sing off key, and I know everybody's watching, but I'm living out my dreams. So I'm not sure how I got here, but I'm glad I came. And when it rains, it pours on us. When it's cold, we cozy up. When I love too much that you can trust. And I know it all seems crazy, but ain't this life amazing? We keep on keeping on all the same. And I'm not sure how I got here, but I'm glad I came. So here's the deal. When I play this song live, I usually make people find a stranger and scream the next lyric into their eyes. And the line is, I don't know you, but I love you all the same. So I want you to find somebody that you don't know on this chat, on these videos, and I want you to chat them, and I want you to say, I love you, Mitchell. I love you, Karen. I love you, Janet. I love you, Obscene Stone. Seriously, their cover of Billie Jean was so good. Anyways, here goes. I don't know you, but I love you all the same. I want to see that chat lighten up. I don't know you, but I love you all the same. I don't know you, but I love you all the same. I don't know you, but I'm glad I came. When it rains, it pours on us. And when it's cold, we cozy up. And when I love too much that you can trust. And I know it it all seems crazy. Ain't this life amazing? 'Cause we keep on keeping on all the same. Look at all that love. And I'm not sure how I got here. Been in the same apartment for like, I don't know, like the past year. How I got here. No, I'm not sure how I got here. But I'm glad I came. Hello, everybody.
Hello, my goodness. Wow. That was
Hi from
beautiful.
Brooklyn. All the love to all of you.
Wow. Amazing.
How are you, Jeff?
I am doing okay. Happy now. This is wonderful. This is my absolute favorite time of the week. No matter what I'm doing, this is it. This time for this show is like I focus every week to this, and
It's a great
that
time.
brings light.
It's a wonderful time of the week. Come on, you get all your favorite musicians together to play for
Yes,
you
and
love.
it's absolutely selfish and fun at the same time.
It's the best. That's the best job. You got a really good job.
Yes, yes, I do, and very grateful for that.
Oh yeah. This next song that I'm gonna play is called Impulse, and I didn't learn anything from this song because I did just that. It's that apartment and your smile, that red staircase in your eyes. It's the corner where you met me on McDougal late that night. It's the path that we took to that nameless park in that bench out forever cars. We were just kids who fell into some loving. We were just kids who wanted the feeling of his pulse. How we were acting on impulse. We were acting on impulse. Oh, acting on impulse. Acting on. Now I'm no stranger to this feeling. 2 hours room me. You were unafraid and dangerous. Held my hand on down the street, and I knew that once we left, and that was the first and the last of our best, and we were just kids who fell into some loving. We were just kids who wanted the feeling of his pulse. Oh, we were acting on impulse. We were acting on, yeah. We were acting on impulse. We were acting on, and in this moment I became a big proponent for no regrets and good decisions. Held you too close for comfort. I could almost feel your other. I could almost feel your other lover. Your other lover. Oh, and we were just kids who fell into some loving. We were just kids who wanted the feeling of his pulse. Oh, we were acting on impulse. We were acting on, yeah. We were acting on impulse, impulse, impulse. We were acting on. We were acting on impulse.
Wow, that was great, and quite a reminder about that impulse. Wow.
Oh yeah, every detail is true. I wanted to like walk the if I ever did a music video for that song, I like wanted to take the tour of the song, the apartment, the corner of McDougal, the park that I still there. I swear that there's no name for the park. It's just like a bunch of benches, and do a whole music video just off of that one song in that one area of Greenwich Village.
It'd be a wonderful song.
Would be wild. Would be fun.
Yes.
But this next song is super special because it comes out on April 23rd.
Yay! Real soon.
Really soon. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. The song is called My Friends. And it's about the people that feel like magic. The ones that make you laugh until you cry and let you cry until you laugh. And it's about endless nights and phone calls and people that make you feel close even when you're far away. So it's about all of you. It's about coming up together, doing wonderful things together. And this song comes out on April 23rd, and here's the deal. I think I sent the link to Harry with the pre-save. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Put it in the chat right now. So, if you go to this link and you pre-save this song, on April 23rd at 8 p.m., I'm doing a private release party for all my friends. And if you pre-save it, you can even send that link to a pal of yours in the spirit of friendship. So I'll see you there.
Yay.
We were drenched in the glow of an ATM, talking about singing on bigger stages for bigger wages soon. We were drinking well drinks in the back of the bar, talking about one day how we'd all be big, big stars. One day we'll be on the Grammys. One day we'll pay our rent. One day we'll tell our kids about Brooklyn time and no regrets, 'cause we never let them tell us we were born to be small. We never let them tell us the ground is where we belong. We keep on keeping on, and my friends, oh, they're coming along. Coming along. We were drenched in our 20-somethings, lifting each other to grab lights whenever we could, playing music until 3 a.m., ignoring our day jobs best as we could. One day we'll be on the Grammys. One day we'll pay our rent. One day we'll tell our kids about Brooklyn time and no regrets, 'cause we never let them tell us we were born to be small. We never let them tell us the ground is where we belong. We keep on keeping on, and my friends, oh, they're coming along. You and I can get to Graceland over the bridge in a minute or two. You and I can walk through Graceland at the gate, been waiting for you. You and I can make a Graceland over the bridge in a minute or two. You and I can be in Graceland at the gate. It's been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you. You and I can make a Graceland over the bridge in a minute or two. You and I can be in Graceland at the gate. We've been waiting for you.
Wow, give it up. Wow, that was absolutely wonderful. Wow.
Yeah, it's songs about all of you. Can you believe
Seriously, it is about all of you and
every
you.
single one? I said I knew all these people were going to be here today, and it's about all of them. Because I did say it was the people that make us feel like magic, and I feel like
Absolutely, and it's a collective, that magic. That's like, wow.
This song is already out. Everything I've played, except for my friends, is already out, and except for my last song. But this song is called "Slip," and I wrote this song when I thought I was gonna be broken up with, which didn't happen then, but eventually did happen. And I said, how would I want to say goodbye to somebody who I love that just isn't right for me? And these are the words that I came up with. Oh, we can't wait, my dear, if we know things they aren't changing. No, I don't regret the drinks we've shared or the meals we've made. Oh, darling, you and I both know that one of us has got to go, but when we separate, go at our own pace. My love yous are losing their weight. My love, don't wait for me. My love, could you loosen your grip? The more you hold on, the more I slip. Our hands have acted still for far too long to know the difference between love and indecision. Blood, no traditions, I ain't coming home. My love yous are losing their weight. My love, don't wait for me. My love, could you loosen your grip? The more you hold on, the more you hold on, the more you hold on, the more I
Wow. So did the person you write the song about and find out you wrote the song about them?
Yeah, it's her favorite song that I've ever written.
Of course it is. Oh my goodness. Wow.
She was like, because it was funny because like before, when we were in the relationship, I played it for her, and she was like, "That's like my favorite song you've ever written." And then like 6 months later, we broke up.
Wow. Wow. How much time went into creating that? Was that song, did it come to you as one
That
big
was
chunk?
that was one felt swoop. Yeah. That was like a sit down in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and just got the whole thing down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like you just had everything was like almost perfectly contained, and it felt like one big download. So it was like, wow.
Yeah, I just like I've always really, really admired like It Ain't Me, Babe. Like the way it's just like there's nothing in here moving in any ways. I'm not alone. Like lyrics that were just so gentle and didn't really place blame on anybody.
Sure.
And like I was like, that's what I want to do with this song.
That's beautiful, and it's and certainly it's her favorite song. So it's all good.
The relationship didn't work out, but the song did. Isn't that the story?
It definitely happens,
Absolutely. Okay, I got one more song, Jeff. This song's gonna come out in the summer, and it's about our almost in life. But before I almost forget, I am playing a live show in New Jersey. If folks are around at the Music Barn, and the truck wanted to say hello. I don't know if everybody heard that nice 18-wheeler rolling down the street. But yeah, I'm playing a live show with my band, outdoor, socially distant. Everyone's in masks when they're walking around. It's gonna be a really good time. I'm fully vaccinated, so is my band, so we're super stoked to get back out playing live shows. Like I said, if you pre-save my song coming out on April 23rd, you and we're gonna hang out on April 23rd at 8 p.m. for a private release party. Gonna break down the song.
8 p.m. Eastern.
What?
8 p.m. Eastern.
Time. I forget we are a global crowd here.
Yeah. Someone's asking where the Music Barn is. That's New Jersey?
The Music Barn is in New Jersey.
Where in New Jersey? Do you know?
In the Big Jersey, just outside of Philadelphia.
Near Cherry Hill.
Yeah, I would say a little bit near Cherry Hill. It's in Mullica Hill.
Okay.
For those who like to Google Map things, which is most of us. But this song is called. I wrote this song when I saw somebody who was an almost in my life after many years, and the next day she said, I still don't think that you and I can be friends because whenever I'm around you, I still think of you as an almost lover or as an almost partner, and I was like. Oh, you should probably explore that with the person you've been in a relationship with for the past 4 years. I think that's really important for you and him to talk about. But also thank you for the song title, so it all worked out. This song is called Almost Lover. I was 19, running around streets that saw more than my eyes could ever dream. I was hanging on to loving someone for the first time. We were reckless, trying to get past this other love that you were laying with. Didn't feel wrong when you're loving someone for the first time. I'll be the one that's right in the next life. I'll know what it's like to be by your side. How do you say goodbye to an almost lover? To an almost lover, almost lover, almost lover. How do you say sight? Am I out of your mind? Do you think about me from time to time? From time to time. If I'm out of your sight, am I out of your mind? Do you think about me from time to time? From time to time. Thank you.
Hey, that was almost love. That was live here at Jeff's Place, a preview of the summer. My goodness. Kate, thank you so much. I wish you much success with your live show in Jersey. And
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And Jeff, thank you for always pulling this together, bringing people who love music and love to meet new friends on the internet. I think that's so important in a time of distance right now. And I appreciate all the work you do.
thank you so much. Well, very grateful to have you, and we'll invite you back. And thank you so much. And we're going from New York City over to Ireland to somewhere near Dublin, I suppose. Nathan,
Yeah,
how are
well,
you?
you can consider it Dublin.
Dublin-ish? Are you in the county
Yeah,
of the same
Dublin-ish.
county?
I am. So I'm in Kimmage, which is a tiny little sort of town just outside of the city centre, but it's being absorbed by the city centre.
Really?
So it's pretty nice. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So for people who might not have heard you before, although perhaps some have, how would you describe your musical influences and you yourself as an artist?
My musical influences at the moment are very based around John Bellion and Imogen Heap and Angèle, who's a fantastic pop artist from Belgium. But I think overall, probably the biggest influences on my music have been Damon Albarn, for sure, Gorillaz, Regina Spektor, definitely, Glenn Hansard as well, of course. He was probably my first big inspiration. I wanted
Really?
to be him for a while. It was kind of embarrassing.
You can still be, as long as you continue to be yourself at the same time, you could be anyone.
No, I'll be a better Glenn Hansard. I'm sure. Eventually, you know. I just got to keep trying.
Just keep doing. So what are we going to hear today or tonight?
So we're going to hear 4 songs. I'm going to pick up the guitar because I haven't played the guitar in forever. And I started my Patreon recently, and I've been doing my own recordings at home.
Wonderful.
And I've been using all the old songs that I don't get to play anymore. They're not going to be in the album. So I am going to play you some of them tonight.
Whoa. Wonderful.
Yeah. And I actually realized that I never tell stories about my songs anymore. I used
Why
to do it
not?
all the time.
Why not?
I know, right? And I figured that here's the perfect place to do it. So, really quick, the Dublin and actually the Irish circus scene is kind of where I come from. I'm an ex-circus performer. And it's a very small scene. So when I wrote a song about a circus performer, a very lovey song, you know, and I get up during a cabaret show and I announce that I've written a song about somebody in the crowd, the whole crowd just went, "Huh!" and shut up for the whole length of the song. And they were all looking around trying to figure out what the clues in the track to see who it was that I'd written the song about. And that's this song. It's called Excuse Me, Miss. I've seen you spinning, twisting, turning. My eyes have burned an image of you on my mind. The sunlight stalks you, and these streets you walk through, they stretch themselves to keep your company. 'Cause you are someone physically musical, dangerously beautiful. The perfect stranger, a one-woman circus. I wanna bathe in your bliss. Excuse me, miss. The spring in your feet begins to crack the street, and underneath are flowers blooming. You dance right through me. I'm a silent movie, and these cameras seem to never stop rolling. And the whispers in the walls, they make buildings of us all. 'Cause you are someone physically musical, dangerously beautiful. Yes, I'm the perfect stranger from a one-woman circus. I wanna bathe in your bliss. I wanna talk to you, and I wanna walk with you. Oh yes, I wanna say I think you are someone to me. Physically beautiful, we'd sing dangerously musical. The perfect stranger to me, a one-woman circus so sweet. I wanna bathe in your bliss. Excuse me, miss, I've seen you before. No, I won't say much more, but I wondered if I could keep your company. Excuse me, miss.
Yeah, giving it up for Excuse Me Miss live here at Jeff's Place. That was wonderful.
Thank you. I love it's an old song, and I love digging it back up again. Fun fact though, she was in the front row of that performance that I announced the song at, and she was standing right next to her boyfriend. And eventually, when they did break up, me and her started to flirt, started to hang out, and she ran away with the circus, literally.
Literally ran away with the circus.
Yeah, I know, right? So she's now off performing elsewhere.
I guess that happens.
True. I'll get her back, and I'll get her to do the music video for the song one day. This next song, which will be the last one I play on the guitar, because I'm only going to do 2 on it, and then I'll jump to my piano. This song, actually, I did release on my Patreon. So just for a moment, I have been feeding myself off the money I've been making on Patreon. Which is, I know, it's only €73, but I eat very cheaply. I eat rice and beans, it's fine. But I have been loving it. And this is the first track that I self-produced and popped up on my Patreon for a certain tier of people. And it's one that, it's sort of followed me around forever. It's like, I would say it's my first great song. If I could claim to have one, I would say this would be it. And
what was the inspiration?
Intense loneliness. I'm a lonely guy, honestly. Like, even when I'm with somebody in a relationship, if I'm surrounded by people, I kind of enjoy a bit of loneliness. And it's mad, especially now, because Ireland has been through the toughest and strictest and longest lockdown in Europe. And we're only after easing off a little bit the other day. So we've been in level 5 lockdown and since Christmas.
Wow.
We've been indoors, yeah. And I think 2 days ago, this Monday, we're now allowed to go anywhere in our county, and we're now allowed to see one other household outside. We're not even allowed in their garden.
Wow.
So it's still pretty strict, and we've all, it's funny, if you see anybody from Ireland on Zoom, we've all got these dark patches just beneath our eyes, because we're all going mad. But the general crux of this song, and its general inspiration, is a term called skin hunger. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with it. You probably felt it, but as a term, it's just when you haven't touched somebody in so long, you haven't actually felt another human skin. And gosh, we're all feeling it now in Ireland, at least. But that's where this song comes from. It's called "Kiss Me Like I'm Already Gone." Touch me like your skin has a hunger. Hold me like your bed isn't lonely. This moment is only a memory in waiting. Kiss me like I'm already gone. Sway me like your soul is inflating. Take me in the cradle of your arms. Collect your charms and bottle them for me. Then kiss me like I'm already Oh, the world has its ways of getting what it wants, my darling. What have we done wrong? Tonight we sing this song, not a goodbye or so long. Yet you kiss me like I'm already gone. Again, one of my biggest inspirations is Frank Sinatra, and I always thought that I wrote this song for him to sing, you know. Pity he will never get the chance to sing it though. So tie a string from my finger to yours, tug it when you lose your self-control. Nothing in this whole wide world is worth its weight in you. Kiss me like I'm already gone. Oh, the world has its way of getting what it wants, my darling. What have we done wrong? Tonight we sing this song, not a goodbye or so long. Yet you kiss me like I'm already gone. Oh, you kiss me like I'm already gone. And I'm already gone.
Wow. I love the intimacy of your singing / storytelling. It's just absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. That was one piece of advice I got from a fantastic mentor of mine, Trisha O'Keefe. This is the first woman to ever own her own recording studio in London at the time. This is mad. She has such an amazing life history. But she took me aside and she said, Nathan, you can be sweet, you can be sexy, you can be whatever you want, but you have to be intimate. That was the thing she said to me. And as soon as I heard that, I just took it to heart. And that's what I go for now. So thank you.
It definitely felt so. Well done.
The next song is the next song I'm going to release because I'm in the midst of an album, which is insane to say because I haven't done any proper recording in a studio again since Christmas. But this is our next song to be released, called Deirdre of the Sorrows. It's about a very ancient Irish tragedy. If you're familiar with Irish myth and legend, you'll know it. Maybe as the Sons of Ishnok. But it's very briefly, I mean, it's a story I tell usually in 2 hours, but we don't have the time for that. So very briefly, it's a very sad tale about a young woman who's so beautiful that Ireland is going to explode, essentially. Everybody's going to fight so they can marry her, and basically everybody's going to go to war. So to stop the whole country from falling apart, this noble king, who is 54 years her senior, decides to marry the unborn child. I know, normal. He keeps her hidden away until she's old enough to marry him, and then she escapes with a young warrior. They run away over to England. There's lots of stuff happens. Ireland does end up fighting. A civil war does break out because of it. And eventually her lover gets captured, killed. Her heart breaks so loudly that you could hear it, which is one of my favorite details in that story. And then she has to marry the sort of evil king, if you will. And she hates him so much, she throws herself off a moving carriage and bashes her brains against the rocks and kills herself. Wow. It's a pretty sad story. We're we're a miserable country, you know. But it is an intensely beautiful story. So I needed to write a song about it. It's my favorite tale. Can you hear that piano okay?
I think so. Harry, do you hear it okay?
Perfect. So this is Deirdre of the Sorrows. had a vision of blood in the snow, a black little crow. Come on, you were 16 years old, with the heart of a soldier and the face of a queen. You were kept away from the world as a wife for a jealous king, and you broke free to find the one you love. Back then, everything was good enough. But sorrow catches up, no matter what you do. Deirdre, they took everything from you. Deirdre, they took everything from you. From the ends of the earth until they left you alone, yeah, something stirred in your souls. It said that Ireland was your home, so you fought until your lover died. Now they control your life, but that's something you could take if you tried. Oh, and you broke free to find the one you love. And back then, everything was good enough. But sorrow catches up, no matter what you do. Deirdre, they took everything from you. Deirdre, they took everything from you. Oh, oh. Deirdre, they took everything from sorrow catches up, no matter what you do. And Deirdre, they took everything from you.
Wow, that's some, that could be like a music. You know, you could probably create the entire musical and all the other stories about the story. You know,
I would really, honestly, that's a life goal. That is, I could do one for each cycle. That's from the Ulster cycle, which is the most violent and the most interesting. It's mad how up north there always seems to be violence. It's crazy. Even in the ancient stories, it's something weird. But it is the best tale. There's actually a really good story about a pregnant woman running against loads of horses in a race and winning.
Yay!
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it's a very fast pregnant woman. I shall finish up with a song called "Some Sunny Day," which I guess came to me over lockdown. It's something to do with my father, I guess, in my hometown of Swords, which I grew up on a place next to an estuary. Really filthy, disgusting estuary. You don't swim in this water. It's a terrible place. It's right next to the sewage treatment plant. But being next to the water was always really, really nice. And yeah, recently I thought of my father ended up going into hospital with pneumonia. He's out, he's safe, he's back to normal, don't worry about it. He's playing flute, it's okay.
Yay.
But there was a whole period where I got really worried. You know, I hadn't seen him like that in such a condition in so long. And this song, I don't know, it's kind of amorphous at the moment, but it seems to be finding its legs, and it seems to be in reference to my home, my roots, and my old age, and how I feel or will feel.
Your old age? Are you kidding me?
About no, not my current old age, but how I will be.
How old is your old age?
Well, right now I'm 28, but one day I will be old.
Perhaps not. You know, you are as old as you say you are. As long as you hold on to that.
I like the idea of getting old, though. To me, I don't know. I guess it's probably because I've never experienced it. So from what I hear, it doesn't sound great. But I mean, I like the sound of it. But I think that's what the song's about. But weirdly enough, I'm not entirely sure. So if you get a better sense,
but this is your
than I
song,
do,
no?
let me know. It is my song, and that's the
Okay.
weird thing about it.
So just like close your eyes, meditate, talk to future you, and ask you what the song's really about.
Ask me what I was actually talking about. But yeah, it's called Some Sunny Day, however. And
Some sunny day live at Jeff's place.
Yes, actually, last time I played here was the first time I ever performed it. Thank you, everybody, by the way. There is an island where I belong, and I've been sailing for far too long. Some sunny day I will cut my way through the waves. I wanna go home. And I have fought against pirate queens, and I've lived stories they won't believe. That little town along the coast is calling to me. I wanna go home. And I am not the same. Everyone I love takes a piece of me away. Some sunny day I'll be back and I'll be brave, yeah. I'll keep my faith, believing in meaningful change. Do-do-do-do-do. Some sunny day. Now would the ocean drag me into the deep if it found out who I used to be? Or is this heavy heart of mine playing tricks on me? Oh, I wanna go home. And every day brings another storm, but this is nothing I've not seen before. I've become a stranger to myself with all this weather on my face, yeah. I wanna go home. And I am not the same, no. Everyone I love takes a piece of me away. Some sunny day I'll be back and I'll be brave. I'll keep my faith, believing in meaningful change. Do-do-do-do-do. Some sunny day, yeah, yeah, yeah. Boom, boom, ba, boom. Some sunny day I'll be old and I'll be grey. I'll fade away, 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 leaving a legend in my wake. Do-do-do-do-do.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. It's like you're, what can I say? You're absolutely magical there. And thank you for sharing that magic with all of us today. It is just beautiful.
You're magical. Actually, there is one point I would love to make on the term magic. It's something I've been thinking about, because you use the term magical a lot, and I really love it. As I was learning about a lot of the way the Irish poets would have thought about it and how the Druids would have thought about it, it seems that magic is a term they use for things that evoke and conjure emotion. and spirits within the body. So that poets would have been magical because they could inspire people to do great things just with their words. It was and I just love that definition of magic, you know?
I like that, and I thank you for sharing your magical pixie dust and your words and your songs and the melodies with us. You know, absolutely beautiful. So please, for Nathan and for all the artists here, if you can, please look at their social media. Please follow them, support their music, be generous with your tips if you can, but most importantly, just share your love. And Nathan, thanks for coming back. We'll have you again for sure. And
of course, thank you.
Just processing everything today is absolutely beautiful, and it's so nice to have people from all over the world come together and just enjoy this music. It's just so special. And heading over to Tempting Murphy, saying good afternoon to you. And how are you doing today?
Not doing too badly. Thank you. How are you?
I'm having fun today. So for folks not familiar with your background, your influences, and where you're at, I mean, I could say that you're in Canada and all, but how would you like to be described?
Oh, I don't know. I guess everyone wants to be unique. I've had a lot of influences. I've been writing a long time. I started to write down because I thought you might ask, and I got to 29 influences, and I'm not going to read them all, but you know, the old ones like Donovan, Birds, Spirit. I love the band, the California band Spirit in the late 60s. They're unbelievable. Fusion of folk, jazz, rock, and pop and everything. They were wonderful. You know, James Taylor, newer people like I love Laura Marling and Molly Tuttle. If you know these names, these are wonderful artists to check out. So a lot of influences. And I just wanted to say to you, Jeff, and to Lauren and Harry too, that I was trying to think about the role that you're providing for musicians, music lovers in this time, and I'm sure quite beyond as well. I kind of saw you kind of like a curator, you know, like for a gallery exhibition. You got to pick this, pick that. Oh, that'll go with that nicely. And today's show's been amazing, starting with Of Sea and Stone, starting it off at a very lofty level, and it's been everyone's been wonderful today. So there you go. That's my intro.
Thank you. Well, look, there are times when I guess once you're a DJ, you're always a DJ. So it's once I know who's available to perform, it's figuring out that order, and then just mixing stuff together. But really, it's that energy that we collectively share that shifts the stuff. And anyway, the stage is yours. Tempting Murphy live with us here at Jeff's Place.
Thank you. And I'll just add that this kind of show is only possible this way. You know, We're not all tootling over to Ireland to listen to somebody and going over to the Netherlands and showing our talents and all that.
I mean,
so.
I will just pause for 1 second and say that, you know, for people old enough to appreciate Live Aid, right? I remember blowing out my parents' speakers during the first few hours of the performance and having to go out and replace them before anybody noticed because I played the music too damn loud. But we kind of take it for granted that we don't need to rent satellite links, and we're able to actually connect via broadband and create really the same ambiance and really the intimacy. I mean, there are times when I cry listening to the lyrics, and it doesn't matter how distant they are, because to me they're coming through the speaker, and there's this emotional intimacy that we were able to gather. And it might have been the pandemic that provoked the opportunity to create this moment, but to be able to bring together people from all over the world across national boundaries at times when we maybe can't travel as much as we'd like to, and still appreciate and connect with the music, it's kind of special. And for me, it's one of the positives from 2020 to be able to bring people together and connect on a soulful level and allow the music to speak for itself. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. My first song is, I think I actually debuted it back on New Year's Eve show when I was here the first time. And the song's been rewritten, and it's actually going to be my next single. So I thought it'd be good to kick off today with it. And it is a pandemic era song, but it goes to the positive side, the light at the end of the tunnel, etc. It's called Standing in the Light. This life has been rough a while, like never before. In a world of madness, everywhere I turn, I'm navigating the roughest seas, and I'm taking on water, struggling to find peace, overcome with concern. Standing in the light, God knows. In the light, God knows, is where I need to go. It's gotta come round again. Things can only get better. We could be so happy again. This much is true. Well, I'm filled with confidence. We'll get through this together. With all that remains broken, let's see what we can do. Standing in the light, God knows. In the light, God knows, is where I need to go. Yeah, standing in the light, God knows. In the light, God knows, is where I need to go. There's one thing I have to say. I couldn't have made it this far without you. Standing in the light, God knows. In the light, God knows, is where I need to go. Standing in the light, God knows. In the light, God knows, oh, is where I need to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We've got some work to do, like never before.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
That was great.
Good. I have to do a little trans-border cultural touchstoning here. If you're Canadian, you certainly know the name Tom Thompson. And if you're not Canadian, you might have heard of him. He was one of the famous group of 7 Canadian painters from the early part of the 20th century. He disappeared on a canoe trip, a solo canoe trip to Algonquin Park, and his body was never found. So there's all kinds of legends around it, but he was an amazing painter, particularly his trees. And so this song is called Tom Thompson Trees. Feel so at ease under tom-toms and trees when I'm with you alone. Magic in the air and your face is so fair. It's so good to be back home. Anytime when I'm losing my mind, I'm lost in your green eyes. Can't think straight, happy victim of fate. Feel my temperature rise. Well, I am at ease under tom-toms and trees. What a Canadian scene. No regrets, gorgeous sunsets. Best place I've ever been. Anytime when I'm losing my mind and I'm lost in your green eyes. Can't think straight, happy victim of fate. I feel my temperature rise. I feel my temperature rise. Rise, oh rise. I feel it rise. Well, I am content with the time we have spent, knowing each other so well. No compromise, no wondering whys. I'm happy, can you tell? Anytime when I'm losing my mind and I'm lost in your green eyes. Can't think straight, happy victim of fate. Feel my temperature rise. Feel my temperature rise. Rise, oh rise. Feel it rise. Yeah, and I am at ease under tom-toms and trees. At ease under tom-toms and trees. Oh, yeah.
Yes, giving it up. Tom Thompson Trees live here at Jeff's place. Very nice.
Oh man, despite best efforts, mistakes happen. That was 2 steps too low, but it was fun. Oh well. Okay, this is another new song. And it's called Nevermind. Okay, let's start this baby. So many times around the sun, so many things I might have done, so many choices along the way, so many times I was led astray, but I didn't understand it at the time. Never mind. Didn't understand all the signs. Never mind. Many feelings I might have had, so many times that I've been sad. Many worries that I did it wrong. It's a miracle I've lasted so long, that I didn't understand it at the time. Never mind. Didn't understand it, all the signs. Never mind. Never in a million years that I think I would find you. Never in a million years So many times I might have bent and taken the easy road. You were there, you had my back, you helped lighten the load. Didn't understand it at the time, never mind. Didn't understand all the signs, never mind. Didn't understand it at the time, never mind. Didn't understand it, all the signs, never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Yes, that was great. Never mind. Thank you for sharing that message. That was wonderful too. Wow.
Yeah, kind of a little challenge with the old voice there. That the water comes in handy. Okay. I'm going to do a song about, I guess it's inspired by depression. And all of us fight depression at one time or another. Some of us much more chronically than others, but it is a part of life. And sometimes you got to fight back. So
Right.
that's what this one is kind of about. It's called Black Dog Home. He's coming round again like it did before. Black Dog is heading home, I know exactly what for. Never gets enough whenever he hangs around. Knows I can't defeat him, he never makes a sound. Never makes a sound.
He's frozen. Oh no. Oh no. Tempting Murphy's frozen.
I just never learn. Looking for an escape route and some kind of
I feel
froze
bad.
up.
Yes. Neil, if you can hear us, I can.
You're frozen.
Froze. Oh no.
Oh
No.
Oh no.
All right, hold on. Let me see if he.
This does happen. The energy here sometimes actually freezes other people's computers.
That's what it
It's
is.
true because
It
it's so
is true.
powerful.
Yes, this has happened before.
It does happen. So while he's getting himself together, Jeff, do you want to talk about anything that's coming up? I know you gave a little bit of a preview.
Oh, there. I think he's back. Nathan. I mean, not Nathan. I was looking at Nathan's comments.
Yeah,
Tempting
Nathan's
Murphy.
right. I think he popped out to pop back in.
Oh, okay. We have
No, wait,
lots of
he's
great
still
stuff.
here. Hold on.
Yeah, he's muted now. Try again.
There he is. Hey
Yeah.
there, Neil.
I was on a Zoom songwriter circle last night, and that happened there. I don't know why. I usually have a very strong internet connection, but I don't know when it dropped out.
Right at the beginning part of the song.
Right at the beginning?
Yeah, like a little bit in, like probably a few 30 seconds in.
Okay, I'll start the second verse then. Maybe that'll
Okay.
be good, and hopefully I get through it this time. Thank you. Black Dog Home, take 2. Well, I could use some help here. I don't know where to turn. Tidal wave of misery. Well, I just never learn. looking for an escape route, some kind of open door. Desperate times and desperate hours, I can't take this much more. Take this much more. Pull out my hair, rack my brains, makes a man a bit insane. And sometimes I feel all alone. Well, I can't be providing this black dog home. I don't mean to feed him, but feed him I do. Not every day I see him, well, that's a good day too. He is a control freak, trying to make me his own. I try to bar the door and not let the black dog home. Don't let the black dog home. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull up my hair, rack my brain, makes a man a bit insane. Sometimes I feel all alone. Well, I can't be providing a black dog home. Well, sometimes I feel all alone. Well, I can't be providing a black dog home. A black dog home. A black dog home.
Yay, black dog home. Yay.
Interrupt us.
Wow, it was good. You made it.
It just struck me that the first dog my family ever had was a black dog.
Wow.
Named Cindy. Well, there was Tessie before that, but black Labrador. But she wasn't depressing. Okay, I've got one more song, and hopefully the connection will stay. And get the right capo. Here we go. This is called Through an Open Door. I hate the way I hesitate when I'm not completely sure. All of my insecurities carried through an open door. Door. Through an open door. 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 Through an open door. Leading to one moment in time. What's a fool to do? One more step, one more move. See through this open door. Door. Through an open door. 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 Through an open door. When it comes to change, I'm slow off the mark. Don't know which way to turn. When it comes to choice, I'm a coward. I'm a coward of sorts. The opposite of miracle is what I fear the most. It's what that lurks on the other side of the open door. Door. Through an open door. 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 Through an open door. Through an open door. Through an open
Through an Open Door live here at Jeff's place. Tempting Murphy, thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
We made it. We made it through. So hey, I'd like to give a shout out to all the artists for being here today, from Cian Stone and Douglas and Kate and Nathan and yourself, Tempting Murphy. It was just really nice to be here, to be in the flow of the music, and I thank the audience for being present and for tipping and for supporting the music. Shout outs to Lauren and Harry for making this show happen. And really, it's we're here for you. Always looking for new artists, not of any age. If you'd like to be on the show, just reach out. We have a website called GraftonStreetTV.com, named after Grafton Street in Dublin, where artists can apply to come on the show. And we have some, I think, interesting programming coming up. So next week's our Songwriters in the Round. I think the following week, I'm still going to go forward and actually do a call to the singers we've had to put together a Songs of the 60s show. I'm working on the format, but I love the original music we have here. I absolutely adore it. And every once in a while, it's like I listen to music from the 60s. I like that too. And it's not that I don't want to hear original music, because I really, really do. I kind of like the way that some people take music and make it their own. So I might just do a call out if I can pull this together and see what kind of magic we could do on April 29th, I guess. In June 3rd, we have a special show. I'm doing it with Amy, celebrating the 39th anniversary of the Bluebird in Nashville. It's this year will be the 39th anniversary of the founding of the Bluebird Cafe. And Amy Kurland is co-hosting with me, bringing 5 of her friends. I do not know who they are yet. And then in July, I am doing a show to honor the words, the music, and the work of Harry Chapin. That's July 15th. And I will know better next week in terms of what artists to be looking for. I first reached out to the Chapin family and their friends to see who's available to come. And I have, once I understand the framing, I may very well look for people who like this, who are inspired by or influenced by Harry Chapin, to come and do a song. I am speaking with his son, Jason, tomorrow to understand. Jen Chapin, his sister, is co-hosting with me, and I have the executive director of Why Hunger is also going to be part of the show. So I'm just putting the pieces together. But there may be opportunities to have friends come and sing too, if you'd like. So that's July. Anyway, I'm Jeff Pulver. I want to thank you for tuning in, for being here, and thanks for making my week. You have no idea how magical it is just to be sitting here and listening. And thank you for sharing your time with everyone. I'm very grateful. Really, truly are. And thanks a lot. It's a wrap. End of recording. We can end the show. Hang out for a little bit.